This conference will now be recorded.
All right, go ahead and kick things off then.
All righty. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the MPO Policy Board. This is for the Area Plan Commission of Tippecanoe County. I guess the first item on the agenda would be a roll call. So, Tim, if you would be so kind as to.
Sure, absolutely. So we have John Dennis,
Affirmative.
Tracy Brown,
Present.
Perry Brown. I can see him, but he's muted. So then we also have
Not
Peter
anymore.
Bunder. Oh,
Not
there we go.
anymore.
Thank you, Perry. Peter Bunder,
Here.
Cindy Murray,
Here.
and Julie Ginn.
Here.
That is all the voting members that I can see on my screen. Did I miss anybody? All right, and then one other just additional announcement is, although we are streaming this on both YouTube and Facebook, unfortunately, we are having some issues with Facebook comments, so we would suggest that any members of the public that would like to comment on this would do so via the YouTube comments.
All right. And we do have enough for a quorum, right, Tim?
Yes, sir.
All righty. Very good. First item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from our June 8th, 2023 meeting. I'll entertain a motion for the approval of the minutes.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second, Cindy.
All right, motion and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All please in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All right, anybody opposed? Hearing none, the minutes are approved. Next item on the agenda is Resolution T-23-11, a resolution to amend the fiscal year 23-24 UPWP, and this will be Tim.
Yes, can you give me just a second?
I will give you all the seconds you need, my brother.
What would happen if you'd said no, John? There's a question.
Tim would have been scatting like a cat, man. And by the way, just for the record, Erin Easter has entered the room, so she is here to keep eye on me to make sure that I don't do anything else dumb.
Okay, very good. Sorry about that. We are having a few technical difficulties, so we were just getting those sorted out. So the general theme of this amendment is that we are partnering with the LEPC to update the hazardous commodity flow study. So this is a study that documents how hazardous materials are transported through Tippecanoe County. That does include both roadway and rail transportation of some of these hazardous commodities. The last time this study was completed was in 2012. So the committee kind of had a desire for this to be updated. And so we've been working with them, and we've gotten a cost estimate of which we will pay 80%. And then the LEPC will pay a 20% match for that. And so that is where we are with this. I have spoken with our partners at NDOT about amending the UPWP on this, and they said that we can do this as what they would call a modification, which, to very, very briefly go through that, basically that means that the process is going to be a little simpler than if we had to do a full amendment or a federal highway would have to be involved. So that is some good news. That means that we can get this up and running, and the LEPC should be able to start the study anytime. That's kind of the very, very short of this, but I am happy to take any questions about this. I know I went through that kind of quickly.
Any questions for Tim? All right, as usual, Tim did a great job of explaining what we'll be voting on. So I'll entertain a motion to approve Resolution T-23-11.
Bunder will move approval.
Need a second.
Julie will second.
Motion and seconded. All in favor, as your name is called, please indicate by saying aye. Timmy, if you would, please.
Yep. Mayor Dennis,
Aye.
Tracy Brown,
Aye.
Harry Brown,
Aye.
Peter Bunder,
Aye.
Cindy Murray,
Aye.
and Julie Ginn.
Aye.
Motion is approved unanimously. Next is our APC progress report. Take it away, Tim.
Yes, so our first item is actually something that we'd like to have David share about. So he is going, or actually, he looks like he's not on. Okay, well, looks like I'm pinch hitting for him too. Okay, that's fine. So the Wabash River Enhancement Corporation recently applied for a RAISE grant. And this is kind of, I believe, their second time trying for this grant for the second phase of their Wabash River Greenway Trail. And they were awarded around $26 million, I think was the number for that. So that's something that's really exciting. This is going to be a great benefit for the community. We still do have some work to do in terms of administering that funding, but this is definitely some very good news that that was awarded to the community. We know that a lot of people have put in some hard work to kind of get the logistics sorted out behind the scenes. So we just wanted to make sure that everyone has heard about that, just in case you haven't already. Any questions?
Any questions? All right, continue on.
Okay, so again, unfortunately, because of the technical issues, I am kind of the only person we got today. So you're
Hey,
stuck
Tim.
with me. Sorry about that. Oh,
I'm
you're
able to
good
get
now,
the mic
Doug?
work. Just the
Okay, well,
mic.
why don't you go ahead and cover this one then?
Okay. Apologies for this. I was having trouble getting my microphone and camera to work, but I successfully was able to get the microphone, so I'll move forward with this. We
Okay,
have a
just for
great.
the record, go ahead and let us know who you are, Doug.
Okay. I am Doug Pode with the Area Plan Commission staff.
Great, cool, thanks.
So we have received good news from the Federal Transit Administration. Earlier this year, City Bus applied for federal funds through a specific program, as shown here on the screen, a low or no emission grant. It's a program to help improve our air quality by offering funds to transit systems to use to move the systems from diesel power to other more energy efficient buses. And they applied for roughly $7.6 million and did receive it. The funds will be used to purchase 3 compressed natural gas buses. And the most exciting news is that the first transit system in the state of Indiana is actually starting to convert their fleet over to hydrogen fuel buses. And they will be purchasing 4 buses, I believe, as it says here. And in addition to that, improving the infrastructure so that, one, they have a refueling station at the facilities on Canal Road, and then purchase all the equipment needed, whether they be spare parts or special training, to handle the hydrogen aspect of fueling the buses and repairing them. So it's really exciting that they did receive these funds. And with these additional funds, if I remember correctly, this will then take the fleet and move it to basically compressed natural gas and then now hydrogen. And after this, there will be no more diesel buses running on our streets. So a very exciting news that was just recently announced from the Federal Transit Administration. Questions or comments?
Just curious, how volatile is hydrogen?
Well, I think the first thing when you hear about this, you think of the Hindenburg, correct?
Thanks for getting into my head, Doug.
Uh, um, it's my understanding this is a quite different in that basically it's a total different design rather than what you would normally think of. If I remember correctly, you can already purchase the vehicles in California that do run on hydrogen. They're actually specific fuel cells, so it's not we're not going to fill big tanks and have the concern as we did with the those era Zeppelins. So it's fairly safe from my understanding.
Very cool. All right, continue on, my friend.
Let me see. The next item I believe is
Bike route?
is the U.S. Bike Route 37. As you know from earlier comments, that the Indiana Department of Transportation did submit the application to AASHTO, and AASHTO did give it provisional approval. Unfortunately, NDOT decided to pull that application, and we were waiting on comments from them. They did provide comments to us, or at least a summary. And in total, over the 2-week comment period that they had, there was 19 comments, of which 7 were negative towards the route. Just kind of give you a summary of those 7 negative ones. There was one in which no specifics were given, so very difficult to address. 3 were from Indiana Trails, and their concerns were mostly regarding connections to points of interest. 1 were Amtrak stations, of which this route does go right by the Amtrak stations in here, Lafayette, and then also Rensselaer. But they would like to see it connect to the Dyer Station in Northwest Indiana, and then to Crawfordsville, which leads to another point of interest in that the route goes from Lafayette to Indianapolis and not to Crawfordsville. So that then there was other points of interest that they wanted to connect to, which we did put together as in the Area Plan Commission back in 2022. A significant list of points of interest to visit. Unfortunately, NDOT did not upload that on their website when they had the 2-week comment period. The remaining 3 comments that were negative were regards to 1, US 231 and State Road 16, the portions that they run on, basically near Rensselaer. And our staff did run the suitability matrix that Purdue University put together, and we went through those numbers. And 3 of those comments, unfortunately, were concerns about having the route on River Road. And that would be between Happy Hollow and Burnett's Road. Matter of fact, there was one comment that was significantly lengthy from a Wabash River cyclist, and mentioned a number of bullet points why it should not be on that road. So we're looking more in depth than that. The good news, as what Tim mentioned earlier, is that the Wabash River Enhancement Corporation, or REC, will be constructing a side path along most of this section. So this should address the safety concern of that. So a couple things that did come out of the meeting is that NDOT is still discussing this internally. But they did leave it slip that at this time they have no plans to submit or resubmit the application this coming September, which is disappointing. They would like to again meet with the districts and discuss with them the route. We did ask why and what they would like to gain from that, and they did not give us any response to that. And they'd also like to hear, even though it's not required, feedback from cyclists about the route. They did say that they are very supportive and committed to establish this route, but safety is their concern. So my impression is that we are basically going back to 2019 in terms of discussing the route and the individual parts, even though all of the government jurisdictions along the route have reviewed it and looked it over. So We are putting together a package for NDOT with a lot of the ideas and information that we presented at the meeting that was held last Friday. And we're kind of then strategizing of how to move forward. So in a nutshell, that's where we stand on the route and getting it established. Comments or questions?
Questions for Doug? Well, interesting as always. Thanks so much, Doug. Now let's move on to the NDOT 18-month letting list. And once again, Doug.
There really isn't too much to report since there were no lettings in June. The July letting did already occur, and there were 2 projects, as you see on the screen, both on State Road 38 and 2 bridge deck overlays. I did look at the information this morning, and the bids, there was only 1 submittal, and that was from Milestone, and it was under the engineer's estimate. So I would assume, because of that information, that project will be approved and move forward. The additional information that I am putting this report together did not see. Projects 10, 11, 13, and 14 were not on the 18-month letting list that NDOT puts together, and I could not find any additional information regarding those. So that will be something we'll have to look at and report back at a later time. And on page 2, scroll down a pinch more, there are 2 new projects. Of course, if you look at these, bridge number 527, which is over the White Wea Creek, just south of Veterans Memorial Parkway on Old US 231, and then phase 2 of Morehouse Road. So those are the 2 new projects. So otherwise, all the projects that were reported and shown are progressing at the anticipated rate that they should be. Any comments or questions?
Questions for Doug? Alrighty, as always, Doug, you're comprehensive and eloquent.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is other business. Any other business for the MPO Policy Board?
Is there anybody from NDOT on?
Yes, this is Debbie Kelder. I just got
hi.
on. I apologize. I was running late coming back from a meeting in Indy, and I think I was trying to click on the wrong link. So I was just able to join you just a couple minutes ago.
Oh, well, that was good timing then, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Great eye, Cindy.
Yeah. Is there any update on Teal Road? Are they on time? Are things going along as
The last I knew, things were on time. I can double check with our project engineer out there and then get like an email together and send to everybody.
that'd be fine. I
Okay.
think we get asked frequently and,
I
by
bet.
our citizens and just and no hurry, just kind of curious.
Sure.
Very cool. Any other
Cindy,
business?
this is Doug. If I could step in for a moment.
Sure.
Earlier today, we had the local emergency planning committee meeting, and I did reach out to the project manager, and she sent me a bunch of information. The one that I remember off the top of my head is that the target date for opening the South 4th intersection is August 1st.
I just didn't know if they were still on the timeline with that or not. So that's good. Thank you.
Alrighty. Thanks, Doug. Any other business to come before the Policy Board? Hearing none, we will do our usual, 60 seconds for citizens' comment. Is that what we do, Doug?
Yeah, that's correct. 60 seconds. Yep.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead, and when you start us, we'll wait a minute and stop it. You got us, Tim?
Yep. We're on the clock.
Okay. Just let me know when we're done.
Will do.
And again, this is for citizens' comment.
All right, I'm not seeing any comments, so it looks like we have fulfilled our 60-second requirement. So we should be good to move on to the next item, which is
All right,
adjournment.
the next item is adjournment. Seeing that there is no other business to cover today, I will go ahead and entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
So move.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, please indicate when your name is called. Would somebody please call the roll?
Sure. Mayor Dennis,
Aye.
Tracy Brown,
Aye.
Perry Brown,
Aye.
Peter Bunder,
Aye.
Cindy Murray,
Aye.
Julie Ginn,
Aye.
and Debbie Calder.
Aye. Aye.
All right. Roll call has been taken. It is unanimous, and we are now adjourned. Thank you all so very much, and we'll see you about this same bat time next month.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.